Next lesson is order of operations. I hope you guys are familiar with this. I'm going to go over this the same way I went over 1-1. No new notes. I'm just going to actually go through the study guide worksheet with you and we'll kind of talk it out. So the lesson's listed up top here already in case you needed it again. The order of operations is Pemdas. You guys remember that? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? We all should remember that. One thing that I want to point out is when we used to write PEMDAS, we wrote it this way. And we took it super literally. So we thought, okay, first we have to solve everything in parentheses. Then we have to simplify all the exponents. Then we have to multiply everything. And after we multiply, then we divide everything. Same with addition, subtraction. First we have to add, and then after we add, we subtract. That is not the case, okay? So I want you to think of it. It's written out here correctly, but I want you to think of it this way. PE and then M and D are equals, right? Doesn't matter which one comes first. You solve it in order from left to right. So if division comes first when you're reading it left to right, then divide first and then multiply. This step comes before adding and subtracting, but you do not have to multiply before you divide. You just solve it in order from left to right. So I'll put L to R. Same thing with addition, subtraction. You do not have to add before you subtract. They're equals. You just do whichever one comes first when you read it left to right. Okay, that's just a little clarification. So it tells us here the steps. Step 1, do everything inside parentheses or brackets or whatever the grouping symbols are. Parentheses or brackets. Either one of those. Step 2, evaluate all exponents. That's what the E is for. Powers or exponents. Step 3, do all multiplication and or division from left to right. So you don't multiply before you divide. They're all equals. You just solve them in order from left to right. Same thing with adding and subtracting. That's the last step. Do all addition and subtraction from left to right. So if it has a minus sign first and then a plus sign, then subtract first and then add, whatever the order is left to right. Then we have some examples. So here we have 3 to the 4th power, which means we take that base and we multiply it 4 times. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So when I start simplifying it, I'm going to start with the first 3 times 3. And that's 9. Then I multiply 9 times 3, which is 27. And then I multiply that 27 times 3, and that's 81. Right? So you just solve it in order from left to right. Same thing with 6 to the 3rd power. First, I multiply the first 2 6s. 6 times 6 is 36. And then I multiply that answer by the last 6. 36 times 6 is 216. That's how we're solving exponents, okay? Then they gave us one of these examples. So I left the worksheet up for you to fill out if you want to. You do not have to. It is not for a grade, but you can always refer back to it. And if you want to, you can see their steps here. But we're going to jump right into doing some of these steps. It does not give us much room here to work out the problem, so I might use a separate sheet of paper, but we're going to go through some of these. Okay, so 5 squared means 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is just 25. Easy peasy. 12 squared means 12 times 12, which is 144. Here, we have 8 minus 4 in parentheses times 2. So parentheses is first. First, I have to solve this. So 8 minus 4 is 4 times 2. And now the only thing left to do is multiply, and that is 8. Okay, I'm just going straight down here. Number 10, 15 minus 12 divided by 4. We do not subtract first. We have to divide first. Division is up here on step 3. Subtraction is step 4. We got to do step 3 first. So for number 10, we're going to first divide. So we'll have 15 minus, and then 12 divided by 4 is 3. And now I have to subtract, and I'll get 12. Number 13. This is a long one. I'm going to come back to this because I need more room to do it. I'm just going to work out these simple ones. All right, 3 times 3 is 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. and 9 times 3 is 27. Okay, then we have 8 times 8 times 8. 8 times 8 is 64. 64 times 8, I don't have a calculator. I'll do long multiplication real quick. 8 times 4 is 32. 6 to 48, 49, 50, 51, 512. Okay, then we have number 8. We have parentheses first, then multiplication. Yes, this is addition, but it's inside parentheses. And parentheses, simplifying parentheses, is our very first step. So 12 plus 4 is 16. And 16 times 6, do y'all separate it out? I think in my brain, I think 10 times 6 plus 6 times 6. 10 times 6 is 60, 6 times 6 is 36, 60 and 36 is 96. I'm going to wait to do this one because I need more room. Move this up. All right, 10 to the 4th power means 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Times 10 more is 1,000. Times 10 more is 10,000. Secret trick there, whenever you're multiplying tens, whatever that exponent is, that's how many zeros you should have in your answer. Haha, love that, right? 2 to the 8th power. So we're talking about 2 times 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 2. 8 of them. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. Yep. And 128 times 2 is 256. Hopefully y'all can see that. I'm running off the edge. All right. Then here we have addition and multiplication. Pemdas says we have to multiply first before we add. So I'm going to do this part first. 10 plus 8 times 1 is 8. And 10 plus 8 is 18. Now, in this case, it would have worked out fine. 8, if we just solved it in order, even though that's wrong, we still would have got the same answer for this one, but it doesn't always work out that way. 10 plus 8 is 18 times 1 stays 18. All right, so now we're going to start on trying to do some of these longer ones here. I'll get a separate sheet of paper. Oh, I'm already crooked, sorry. I'm using the back of other worksheets. All right, for number 13. Hopefully you can see that. Yes. We have 3 squared divided by 3 plus 2 squared times 7 minus 20 divided by 5. My eyeballs can't see if that's a plus or a division, but it's division. All right, so here, first thing we have to look at is parentheses. Do I have any? No, I don't. So then I move to exponents. Everything that has an exponent, I have to simplify. So 3 squared is 9. And then I keep this the same. 2 squared is 4. And I keep all this the same. Okay, so now I have division, addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division. So before I can add or subtract, I have to multiply and divide, and I'm going to do it in order from left to right. So first thing I see is this guy, then I see this guy, then I see this guy, right? So first I'm going to divide. 9 divided by 3 is 3. Bring down my plus sign. 4 times 7 is 28. Bring down that minus sign. This guy comes, and then 20 divided by 5 is 4. Okay, so now I'm this far. Now I just have to keep simplifying from left to right. 3 plus 28 is 31 minus 4, and 31 minus 4 is minus 127. So our answer there is 27. Easy enough, right? I'm going to do number 11. Probably do 11 and not 12. 11 is 12. Can you see what I'm writing? Yeah. Where am I? 12, 20 minus 17 minus 3 times 6. All right, so we'll solve this guy. First thing we do is parentheses. So 12 parentheses, 20 minus 17 is 3. Minus 3 times 6. Do we have any exponents? Now, we still do have parentheses, yes, but when we say parentheses, we mean we simplify everything inside parentheses. So even though I still have parentheses here, everything inside of there is already simplified. So now I'm just looking at the multiplication, subtraction, multiplication. So I'm going to multiply first. 12 times 3 is 36. 3 times 6 is 18, and then I bring down that minus sign. And 36 minus 18 equals 18. Good? All right, let's do 13, 14, and 17, and then we'll finish up. I'll fold this real quick so I can... Don't look at my hands. Oh, they're so ugly. At least I have hands. I'm grateful. Okay, 13. We have 3 squared divided by 3 plus 2 squared times 7 minus 20 divided by 5. Oh, sorry, I already did that one. Oh my God. It's not even so dumb. Hello. I've done math too much today. Let's do 16. Y'all, give me a break, okay? 2 times 4 squared minus 8 divided by 2 all over 5 plus 2 in parentheses times 2. Okay, so the thing about a fraction is that before we do anything with this bar, excuse me, we have to simplify everything on the top so that all we have is one number, and everything on the bottom so that all we have is one number. So when I'm just looking at the top, first thing I have is parentheses. I don't have any parentheses. Then I have exponents. I've got an exponent right here. So I'm going to say 2 times 4 squared is 16 minus 8 divided by 2. And then on the bottom, I have parentheses. So I'm going to do that first. 7 times 2. Okay, next step. So I'm kind of going at the same time, but these two things are unrelated to each other yet. Okay, so now on the top I have times, minus, divided by. So I have to multiply and divide first. So 2 times 16 is 32. Keep that minus sign. I haven't done anything with it yet. And then 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I group those two, I group those two, and then I kept the minus sign in the middle. And then on the bottom, I can just go ahead and multiply, and I'm done there, 14. So the last thing I have to do here is subtract on top. The bottom's done. I'm down to one number, I'm done. 32 minus 4 is 28. So I've got one number on top, one number, not literally one number, it's 28 is a number, right? It's 2-digit, that's fine. Excuse me. 28 divided by 14. That's my fraction. Now I can actually do something about that fraction. Can I simplify? Yes, I can. I can divide the top and the bottom both by 14. And when I do that, 28 divided by 14 is 2. 14 divided by 14 is 1. So my answer is 2 for all of that. Okay, and then I'm going to do, let's see. The other ones look pretty easy. I'm going to do 15. That's the last one I'm going to do on this front side. All right, 15 says 250 divided by brackets, which are just like parentheses. 5 parentheses, 3 times 7 plus 4. Parentheses, brackets. Brackets are just a set of parentheses outside another set of parentheses. That's it. So first thing I want to do is look inside the brackets. Excuse me. And I'm just going to look at everything in here. So within that, I have another set of parentheses. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. So in this set of parentheses, I have multiplication and addition. First, I want to multiply. So I'm going to have 21 plus 4. And then I add 25. Excuse me. So that becomes 25. So inside this bracket, I get 5 times 25. So I'm going to rewrite all this. 250 divided by brackets 5 times 25. Okay, so these brackets are still parentheses, so I need to multiply inside here before I do anything else. 250 divided by, and then 5 times 25 is 125. Once you multiply inside the brackets can go away. You could leave them if you wanted, but it doesn't matter if you do or not. And then 250 divided by 125 is 2. Okay, so that's just practice in, what am I trying to say? In order of operations. And we also have the back side of it. So let's see what that looks like. I haven't looked at it yet. Excuse me. More of the same, I think. Maybe it gets a little harder. All right, evaluate each expression if, this one wants us to plug in numbers. Okay, we'll do a few of these. These aren't my favorite. They're not like crazy related to Pemdas, but I guess they are. All right, here, x plus 7, and it tells us up here x is equal to 2. So we're going to write 2 plus 7, which is 9. Easy. Let's go down one. 4, x to the third plus y plus z squared. So x is 2. Now, all the directions, you use the same numbers. So 2 to the third plus y, it tells us y is 3, plus z squared, and z is 4. 4 squared. Okay, so when we actually simplify that, 2 to the third power, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, plus 3 plus 16, 4 squared is 16. And then I'm just going to add all that together. 8 plus 3 is 11, 11 plus 16 is 27. When I do number 7 here, I have a fraction sort of, so y is 3, so I've got 3 squared over, z is 4, 4 squared. So I'm going to simplify the top and the bottom. I get 9 over 16. And then can I simplify that fraction at all? Nope, there's nothing I can divide both by. So that's the answer, I'm done. Number 10. 10 is 10x, and whatever all that is, first we multiply those together, then we square it, right? Those parentheses matter. 10x squared is different than 10x squared like this, right? That exponent only applies to the term in front of it. So here, we're saying 10 times x squared. Here, we're saying 10x times 10x. Because squared means you multiply the base times itself. 10x times 10x is 100x squared. 10 times x squared is 10x squared. Those are two different answers, right? So you got to make sure you follow, I'm going to skip this one here. You got to make sure you follow the operation. So we have 10x squared, x is 2. So 10 times 2, we'll put brackets around it, squared plus 100a. 100, and it tells us that a is 4 over 5. Okay, so 10 times 2 is 20. 20 squared, 20 times 20 is 400, plus, this 100 is like saying 100 over 1, so I multiply straight across the top, straight across the bottom. 100 times 4 is 400. 400 over 5, 5 goes into 400, what, 80? 80 times. This whole thing is 80. So I get 400 plus 80, which is 480. Okay, so I think probably the idea is clear here. If you guys have extra questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. But all you're doing is substituting what it tells you in the directions here. Just substituting those numbers in for the variable and then using order of operations to solve. So let me know if you have questions, but that'll do it for now. Thanks.